Nouriel, you are scathing over the underlying value of Bitcoin. What will be the catalyst that will expand the supply of Bitcoin, providing a lessening of Bitcoin's value?
Well, compared to other cryptocurrencies, the only advantage of Bitcoin is that its supply cannot be easily manipulated, because many of the other cryptocurrencies, the supply is increased by fiat, by the founders, while there is a cryptographic algorithm that determines the supply of Bitcoin. My argument against Bitcoin is not the one I have against other cryptocurrencies that are being debased at will day in, day out, is rather that it doesn't have any fundamental value. First of all, calling them cryptocurrencies is a misnomer. For some people, a currency has to be a unit of account, a scalable means of payment, and a stable store of value. On all of these counts, neither Bitcoin nor any other cryptocurrency is a currency, first of all. Secondly, there is plenty of academic evidence suggesting that the price of Bitcoin has been manipulated. There's studies about pump and dump schemes, spoofing, wash trading, front running by exchanges. Well, it's really widespread. And there is specifically one stable coin, Tether, whose supply has increased this year alone by 14 billion, from 4 to 20. And every time the price of Bitcoin falls, the supply is increased. Nouriel, so we have good reason to believe that it's manipulated. Nouriel, and it doesn't have any intrinsic value.
Okay, because of time, Nouriel, I want to cut to the chase, as I did with Mr. Carre, which is this belief that we can develop an adult cryptocurrency business without crime, without scam, and without the lack of transparency, the opaqueness within the global financial markets. Can we do Bitcoin and cryptocurrency without crime?
Well, if you have the real enforcement of MAL and KYC, anti-money laundering, know your customer, then you could have some of these things being regulated, but then they would not be used for those shady activity. The problem is that I think that we're going in a direction in which there'll be introduction of central bank digital currencies. China is doing it. The European Central Bank has a proposal. Another 20 central banks have a proposal. And I think even the Fed, given that everybody else is going ahead, is going to have to do it. Once we have a central bank digital currency, every individual, not just banks, every business is going to have an account with the central bank. So we can make payments cheaply, safely, instantaneously with clearing and settlement. And therefore, a central bank digital currency is going to dominate not only cryptocurrencies that have no means of payment value because they're not scalable, but even bank deposits and wires and other alternative digital payment systems that exist today. That's the revolution is coming. That's the future of money and of currency, not crypto.
But what does it mean for, registration, Nouriel, and enforcement? One of the questions that we were asking Benoît Cœuré is actually, is there a danger to the financial system? Is there a danger to stability? And if, for example, someone goes from France to another country and wants to pay in digital currencies, what does it mean for what data we need to collect on that person?
Well, no, the system with central bank digital currency is going to be that there'll be real MAL and KYC. Banks are already doing this job for any bank account. So if you have a bank account and then you are converting some of your bank deposits in an account at the central bank, the job of doing the MAL and KYC is going to be outsourced to the current financial system. Is doing quite a good job. So the central banks are not going to go and verify every individual or every business and so on. So I think those issues can be managed quite well and easily in collaboration between central banks and the current system of commercial banks. Even the digital payment system exists right now, say PayPal or Venmo or Square or Alipay or WeChat Pay, they're usually linked to your bank account, and therefore somebody is doing the MAL, and therefore if the transfer of money is cross-border, of course cross-border transfers always take longer because there is this MAL and KYC kind of issues that are less of an issue within a country transfer. But all those things can be managed, and there are already processes to think about what you're going to do when you have a central bank digital currency.
Yeah, when you look at COVID, has it really accelerated the cashless society by a decade?
It has in many different ways. First of all, touching banknotes and coins can potentially transfer the disease. Secondly, we've realized that there is a constraint on how much in countries that have a negative policy rate, you can go negative because you're going to have a reversal rate where the excess reserves can be converted into cash. If you have a digital currency, fully, a central bank digital currency, and you phase out cash, you can go more negative in terms of the policy rate if needed in an economic slump. And in many countries, the use of cash is disappearing. In places like Sweden or in China, even the beggars in the street are using a QR code on their phone app to get a donation. So we're going to a society that's going to become cashless. Therefore, central banks have to start to think about e-money, and they're doing it. The only one that's behind the curve currently is the Fed that doesn't have even a plan.